Crypto is the rocket ship that's going to the moon. If you've been on the internet recently, then you've probably heard of some form of crypto news. Coinbase, which is one of the largest exchanges out there, especially in the US, came on the market through a pretty hyped up direct listing. But since that hype has died down, it's come back to the mid 200s. Or maybe you've heard of Dogecoin going to the moon, going from just a few cents to over 70 cents as of the time of this filming, creating Dogecoin millionaires left and right. This whole space is booming like crazy and we're just getting started. Bitcoin's market cap has hit over $1 trillion. And that's just getting started because most people are saying that Bitcoin's market cap will hit and exceed that of gold's. And if that's true, that's a 10x from here, pushing the price to over $500,000. 10x might sound like a lot, but with so many promising projects out there, you can probably find a ton more that will give you a much higher return on your investment. But with so many coins out there and so many projects, a lot of them being scams, SafeMoon, how do you know which one to invest into? Well, in this video, we'll be going over my top 5 crypto projects and their coins to invest in. I first got into crypto back in 2015 when I bought my first little bit of Bitcoin, and then again in 2017 before the crypto winter. In the recent few months, I've been researching hours every single day just to get a grasp of everything that's going on in this amazing space. And I'll be summarizing some of that here. Hey, I'm Kevin, and on this channel, we talk strategies to help you along on a financial journey. If you want to invest in your future of finance, projects with huge potential, or crypto in general, let me know by smashing that like button for the YouTube algorithm. But before we get started, let me add that I'm not a financial advisor and I'm especially not your financial advisor, so take everything I say here as entertainment or education only. I do have some holdings in each of the 5 coins I'm talking about, but that's just because I have really high conviction in these 5 projects. So now with that out of the way, now let's get started. So first on the list, and in no particular order, is the one and only Bitcoin. If you don't know what a Bitcoin is or a blockchain, check out a video I did previously going over some of the basics up in the corner. Anyways, Bitcoin was invented back in 2008 by the anonymous Satoshi Nakamoto, and today has become the face of all cryptocurrency and has reached the heights of over $50,000 USD. When it comes to cryptocurrency projects, Bitcoin is one of the most basic. It's used to power the blockchain through miners. You can hold it and you can send it to other people. That's really it. The whole point of Bitcoin was to disrupt the current centralized financial industry by creating a decentralized peer-to-peer network. At the very core basics, it's a way for people to exchange currency without a central agency like a bank or even a government that can print more money or freeze your accounts. That means as long as there is Bitcoin, there's no way for anyone to take away your Bitcoin or freeze your accounts. And as long as there's the internet, there will always be Bitcoin. Bitcoin is usually compared to something like gold, where there's a finite amount and a fixed supply. In gold's case, the supply is all the gold we have that exists on this earth. But in Bitcoin's case, there's a cap of 21 million coins that will ever exist. And with the halving every 4 years, the blocks that are mined will give less and less Bitcoin, with the last block being mined in 2140. Again, it's just like gold where the last bit of Bitcoin will get harder and harder to mine. So what about the price? Well, right now, people consider it an altcoin season, meaning Bitcoin's dominance is falling in terms of market cap versus all other altcoins. That means all these other altcoins are usually rising in price, some of which we'll talk about later in this video. And Bitcoin is kind of trading within a certain range. But with Bitcoin being up over 50% in the last 90 days, that's already pretty impressive. Now, technical analysis like TA is usually highly debated on whether it works or not. But one chart that a lot of people look at, which looks at Bitcoin like a commodity like gold and silver, is the stock to flow chart. This chart says that we're basically on the price target in this cycle, and if the chart is right, we'd be hitting $100,000 per Bitcoin pretty soon and much higher in the future. Either way, it's definitely not too late to get into Bitcoin. I mean, with so many people getting into it now, including institutions, as well as the entire crypto space is growing every single day, with Bitcoin still being the place to store value, just dollar cost average into Bitcoin and you won't regret it. Now, if Bitcoin is gold and the store of value, then this next project is like electricity or gas or TCP/IP, which is the protocol for the modern day internet. And that project would of course be Ethereum. Founded by Vitalik Buterin and a couple others like Gavin Wood and Charles Hoskinson, whose names you'll hear about later, Ethereum was built to solve the next level of functionality of blockchains, paving the way for smart contracts and other developers to build and operate these programs on top of the blockchain. That means anyone and everyone could write up these programs or smart contracts and distribute them on this decentralized network and have anyone use them. Now this space is huge, but we'll go over a couple of the big ones. The first one would be DeFi, or decentralized finance, which is basically building out the entire financial world as we have today in a decentralized and arguably better way. This includes lending on sites like Compound or Aave, which can lend out or borrow different types of crypto, including stablecoins, which are cryptocurrencies that are pegged to the US dollar 1-to-1. And these are pretty lucrative. Like if you are lending out and earning interest on stable coins like USDT or USDC, you can get like 10% APY, which blows any regular savings account out of the water. Or another thing you can do is provide liquidity to exchanges. Because these exchanges are decentralized, there needs to be a pool of the two different currencies in order for people to exchange between them. So you can provide liquidity to these pools in order to get a cut of the fees that the exchange generates. A couple popular platforms to do this on would be Curve Finance or Uniswap. And all of this DeFi stuff has some serious money exchanging hands every single day, with about $80 billion of value locked up in these kinds of services. Now, it's not just Bitcoin that's been in the news, but Ethereum as well. The European Investment Bank recently issued over $120 million worth of bond tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. And an Ethereum-based ETF is now under review by the SEC, which would allow for traditional funds like 401ks and stuff to buy into Ethereum, which is huge news. And then there's Visa saying that they'll be settling transactions using the USDC stablecoin on the Ethereum network. So with all that said, as of the time of this filming, Ethereum is trading in the $3,500 to $4,000 range with about a $400 billion market cap, being the second cryptocurrency in terms of ranking. Ethereum has its flaws, things like high gas fees, but with the entire space still growing and things coming up in the future like EIP 1559, Optimism, or Ethereum 2.0, there's so much room to grow. Ethereum will just keep on improving, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the price and market cap double or even triple in the next couple of years. Next up, I actually have two projects that are often seen as competitors to each other, which would be Cardano and the ADA coin, as well as Polkadot and the Dot coin. Both of these projects are trying to do what Ethereum could not or hasn't done yet, which is to build a scalable, interoperable blockchain where innovation can happen on top of. And by innovation, I mean things like DeFi, NFTs, and so much more. Both projects are led by the co-founders of Ethereum. Gavin Wood leads the Polkadot, and Charles Hoskinson leads Cardano. On Cardano's side, this project aims to solve issues with scalability, interoperability, and regulatory compliance, all while developing with methods from peer-reviewed research only. This could be good or bad because it slows down the development a lot. As of today, the full version of a Cardano hasn't even been built yet, with the next phase being smart contracts, something a project like Ethereum already has. But despite all that, Cardano is already in the top 10 of all cryptocurrencies, with a huge following behind them. And it's not just all talk either. Recently, Cardano partnered up with the Ethiopian government to have their schools use the blockchain to track over 5 million students' performance and records. Yes, this is a partnership with an Ethiopian government. Polkadot, on the other hand, doesn't just rely on peer-reviewed research, but is much further along in its roadmap, with its current phase being the parachain rollout, which will allow 100 applications to plug into the main relay chain and build on top of the Polkadot network. Now, the exact details of how everything works will take forever to go through, just like Cardano, but if you want me to go more in depth on these projects, let me know down in the comments. As of today, both of these projects are neck and neck in terms of ranking in the top cryptocurrencies, and they're not even in their true final form yet. Because I'm not sure which project will win out in the end, or if they will just coexist, I have investments in both of these because both of these projects still have huge potential. Alright, so this video has gone on for a lot longer than I thought it would, but there's just so much to talk about. And with this next project, I really need to start investing more in, but that would be called VeChain. VeChain is a platform created back in 2015-2016 to solve the world's economic problems. And VeChain is led by the former CTO and CIO of Louis Vuitton China, and consists of two tokens. VET is the store and transfer of value as well as governance on the chain, while VThor is considered the energy of the blockchain, being used for all the transactions on the actual network. Now, the supply chain world hasn't really seen much innovation or disruption. Imagine the tens if not hundreds of companies being involved in a product being designed, to being created, to being shipped halfway across the world, to being sold to a customer in a whole nother country. Now imagine all the issues that plague supply chains today, like money not flowing smoothly throughout all the companies, difficulty tracking, disruptions, agriculture, other logistics, and even corruption and fakes being involved. Well, with VeChain, the blockchain integrates with things like RFID tags, NFC tags, and other Internet of Things that tracks products throughout the entire chain and lets companies at every stage in the process track in real time and full transparency everything that's going on. You can then even verify on the chain any disruptions that are happening, or even see if things are fake or not, which, believe it or not, is over 3% of the world's trading. VeChain is definitely not all talk, with integrations into real-world supply chains today, and a lot of big partnerships with brands like BMW and LV to Walmart China and H&M and even the Chinese government. When it comes to price, I think VeChain is really undervalued for what it offers, especially with real-world use cases today. Sitting just outside of the top 10 cryptocurrencies, I'd be surprised if it doesn't break the top 10 pretty soon. And if it does, that means a market cap increase of 2x, which means the price would at least go up 2x as well. And lastly, the fifth cryptocurrency on this list would be Chainlink. Founded in 2017, Chainlink is by far the largest Oracle project out there. With so many projects in this crypto space doing so many different things, there has to be a way for these smart contracts to get data from the outside world. A couple examples are like the Arbol project, which need the real world weather data to feed into the smart contracts, or decentralized exchanges like DEXs that may need New York Stock Exchange data. This is a project that's flexible enough to pull from basically any API out there. The exact details of how all of this works will again take forever to explain, but for the very basics, it's essentially a lot of different node operators that pull data from a bunch of different sources, so not everything is centralized to one source. These node operators need to stake and lock up Link in order to rank higher in the priority list of providing data. And when people request for this data, these node operators get paid in Link for the service. That way, everyone is incentivized to provide correct and accurate data, because if not, and they provide unreliable or inaccurate data, then they'll be taxed and then downranked for providing data in the future. Now for the price. Just like VeChain, Chainlink is sitting just outside of the top 10 cryptocurrencies also. And again, I'd be surprised if this doesn't break into the top 10 sooner or later. The whole smart contract ecosystem is only going to grow, which means more and more smart contracts will need real-world data through oracles like Chainlink. And I don't think there's any close competitors to Chainlink out there. Maybe Band Protocol, but they're still really tiny compared to Chainlink. With all of that said, the entire crypto space has so much room to grow, and we're only in the beginning. Imagine back in the day when the internet was created. People were questioning, why do we need the internet when you can listen to the radio or watch TV? Now look where we're at. If you do plan to get into crypto, I'd recommend you spreading your investment among different coins. A typical recommendation is the 50-25-25 rule, which means 50% Bitcoin, 25% Ethereum or big caps, and 25% small caps. Personally, I'll probably be aiming for somewhere around 40% Bitcoin, 30% Ethereum, and 30% everything else. No matter what, remember the phrase, not your keys, not your coin. Meaning you should do research into seeing how to best store all the crypto that you have, because once you lose that private key, the keys are gone forever. If you want a video dedicated to how to best store your crypto, let me know down in the comments. Anyways, we've only gone over the tip of the iceberg for everything that's going on in this space. There's staking, lending, mining, yield farming, earning interests, NFTs, and more. Speaking of NFTs, there's millions upon millions of dollars being traded every single day with in-game digital items or digital art and so much more. And guess who has a video talking all about that? Just click up in the corner. If you watched to this point of the video, thank you so much. I know it's a long video, but I hope that by watching this, it gives you a sneak peek into all the amazing things that are happening in this digital future of ours that will definitely play a part in our lives sooner or later. Even doing so much research already, I'm still learning every single day. And the more I learn, the more I'll be able to summarize things and put out videos like this. Anyways, invest safe and see you in the next one.